Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started.
You know what's awesome about being a gamer and not tied to a specific platform and doesn't have to cap for the platform every day, every moment, every second? To make it your whole personality based on one specific platform, that way you can kind of fit into a group of people. You guys like that? Do you guys like playing video games? Do you guys love video games? Do you care about the plastic box that's associated with the video games? I'm sure some people do. I don't think that's a problem. But when we talk about these people, I talk about the difference between fans and fanboys. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of a certain thing. Like, you can be excited about the new Xbox, the new PlayStation, or whatever. Or the new Neo Geo, or the Ouya. I don't care. As long as you're playing video games and you're genuinely excited about playing video games, and not putting people down just because, I don't know, fucking tribalism. I don't know why. You would think if you hopped on X or NeoGAF or something, you would think that people were fighting, having an actual civil war against races. That happens. That's a real thing. It's a real thing. It happens. But sometimes you have some people that are quite hypocritical. Now, this isn't just the Xbox side. This is just not the PlayStation side or the Nintendo side. They're on all sides. See, it's equal opportunity to see when you hop on X, you're going to see a bunch of retards fighting over the billion-dollar company that doesn't know them. Now, I know I'm going to get called a grifter, a shill, a bot, a pony. We're not going to call, they call them PC pedophiles for some reason. It's stupid. It's got that bad. It's got that bad where you say one good thing about a certain platform, doesn't matter which one you were in, you're going to have some retard coming up making a video about you, or they're going to get in the comments and try to put you down because you subscribe to a certain service, or they tell you you're retarded or mentally ill, like I call people mentally ill or retarded all the time. But you have some people that just play into it, doing the same exact behaviors as the people they are actually bitching about. Now, I've done a couple videos about Xvault. Here's the thing. I don't hate Xvault. I never did. The one thing I can criticize quite reasonably is for somebody that says that he loves the games and he's not a corporate shill or a bootlicker. I'm sorry, we're going to have to stop the buck there because, my God, guy, you quite are guilty of saying the same exact shit that the people you are criticizing are saying, but it's okay if you do it. But anyways, anytime somebody wants to, I don't know, question him or call him out, he goes immediately and he does something like this. He blocks you. Now, it only happens whenever you're talking about his favorite brand and he doesn't want to engage in any type of conversations with you. He'll just call you stupid, or he'll make a video where he smugs, his smuggy laugh, which we'll watch something really quick. And by the way, the people he's covering in this video, these people are retarded. They're generally retarded. Just genuinely retards. They are not the Xbox community as a whole. And I know we like to say, oh, this person's in this community, so the whole community's like that. But there's good examples of both sides doing this kind of shit. But let's go ahead and watch a little bit of Xvault. We're going to watch a video. Then we're going to talk about the video. We're going to stop some things, and we're going to try not to be complete dicks. But let's just be real here. When we're talking about shills, and we're talking about grifters or whatever fanboys, this is who we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's turn this up.
At this point, they're so far behind.
I have the answer, but the developers don't want to hear it.
So many studios are getting their games canceled. It's like, will you ever have games anymore?
Doodle, what's the answer?
They ain't getting shit.
They ain't getting
They ain't getting shit.
That's the answer.
Keep begging. Stay down there. Stay on your knees, bitch. Keep on begging. Keep on begging, Phil, and see if maybe, you know, someday they'll throw in.
You can see that clip didn't exactly age very well. It didn't. And by the way, when you listen to these people talk, that is by very definition mental illness. That is exactly what that is. And I have no problem when you see something like this, no matter what side it's on. Hey, it's your due diligence of calling it out, and I think that's fine. Let's kind of rewind into it just a little bit. But let's go ahead and just kind of watch a little bit more.
Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today we're going to go over your next dose of the salty batch file.
I do think it's funny, he has a whole video series about salty batch files, or people being salty, and the way he acts in his comment section on his X account, or talks about things, usually not really salt at all. It's mainly just people talking shit. Maybe we have different definitions of salt, but whenever he calls it out, it's most of the time it's not. It's just like him using words that he doesn't mean, but he knows exactly what they mean. You remember nonce? You guys remember that, right? Remember when he called somebody a nonce? Look that word up, by the way, and just see how common he used that at the time. Yes, he called somebody a pedophile and said he didn't know what that meant. But that's just me calling out the hypocrisy, because a lot of these guys think they're super, super smart, but use words they don't know what they mean, and when they get called out on it, they usually get blocked. So let's continue.
And this is going to be the theme of receipts for sure. The pot calling the kettle black, all that sort of stuff here. So
And by the way, the pot calling the kettle black, this guy's guilty of it all the fucking time. So there's going to be a overarching theme of this guy doing this. So anything he does is merely projection on himself. So just keep that in mind. It's funny. It's really funny.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is get right to it here to preface everything.
What the fuck just happened? So my videos aren't that great, and here's the thing. I do like Xvault. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with Xvault. I don't think there's a problem calling him out. But I'm kind of wondering why he changed his lighting, because the other day he actually changed his lighting and it was actually looking kind of good for the most part. I don't know why he does it, but like if you look right here, like it's really hard. Like it does stick out a little bit, but I mean you really need to change that up, man. There needs to be some kind of contrast between that bald head of yours and this wall. That's just me though. I'm a fat planet. I'm a fat guy. I take up most of the screen. I'm a planet. I'll go ahead and do that for you. That way you have that insult out of the way. Let's continue.
Here, I got to get these receipts out of the way as well. These are good because there's a lot of receipts.
And they're not good, by the way. They're just stupid. They're just fucking stupid. If you're having a conversation about video games, or you're doing some kind of weird tribalism thing, say, haha, I'm better than you, and you're like 40 or 50 years old, arguing about video game systems, by the way, it's not going to be a good take no matter what you say. It will never be a good take. I'm sorry. That's stupid. It's really fucking dumb. It just is.
It's coming in regards to, Game Pass is not profitable. Common sense told everybody that, including myself, years ago.
Well, which, by the way, too, he'll say things about people having common sense, but he doesn't take the time to look at the way he acts on X or on his actual videos and say, hey, I'm doing the same fucking shit these guys are doing, but it's okay. I'm Xvault. I could do that.
But nonetheless, they want to sit there and act like, oh, wait a minute. So, that being said, let's get to the receipts of some other topics here. So, that being said, let's start with the first one. Ballbreaker Bond here pulls up Nico. Nico, if you're watching, here we have two examples from you, good sir. What we have here is you...
I do like this, because this is going to be in reference between the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I do own, and I had my grievances against it until I got it very cheaply, and the whole Xbox Asus ROG Ally thing, which is probably going to be $1,000, but we'll kind of talk about that more here. Let's see what he has to say with his salt.
Stating the fact when everybody was very salty about the PS5 Pro releasing, by the way, so theme of things, receipts, as you can see. If you defend a $700 price tag, you are part of the problem. Not too long later, ladies and gentlemen, when the ROG Ally X, the Xbox sticker slapped on handheld.
So, but by the way, I love how these people say this. Like, yes, Xbox is doing an OEM Asus ROG Ally X, and there's clear differences between the two. A lot of them will say you could buy the same thing right now, which is kind of accurate. I have one upstairs. I have the Asus ROG Ally, and I see people like, oh, well, Xbox, that's not an Xbox. That's definitely not an Xbox. And it's Xbox branded. It's got the Xbox operating system. It's got a dedicated button to go into the Xbox operating system. But by the way, this headset, I can't even talk. I'm sure that'll get put in some kind of clip by someone. I don't know. I don't care. It's an Xbox. I don't care what you say. It is what it is. It's Xbox. If PlayStation decided to do an OEM product and they had PlayStation plastered all over the device, guess what? I'm going to say it's a PlayStation. If the company says a PlayStation, it's a PlayStation. This is also a clear thing that these people don't really understand what kind of device this is and who it's marketed for. And by the way, it is still kind of confusing why it does exist. Me, I'll purchase one, I'll get the X, and it will be quite the upgrade compared to my current Asus ROG Ally. But there's quite the big difference between what's out now and what's coming. It's going to be hardware changes as well as the design, the actual internals. It's going to be quite a bit powerful. And yes, you'll have access to Xbox and Steam, Epic Games, whatever. And I know some retards will be like, well, I can play PlayStation games on it. Yeah, that's fine. You could do that. It's going to launch into Steam on the Xbox hardware if it's actually OEM. There's nothing wrong with that. These devices are not marketed towards you and I. Well, probably me, but not anybody really else except for hardcore gamers that either have a PC, they want to be on PC, but they don't want to make that full dedicated move to PC. But it's a PC. It's a PC handheld hybrid console. You can hook it up just like the Nintendo Switch, and it's basically the same type of deal. You can hook it up to your TV if you want. You can play your Xbox, your Steam games, your Epic games, and yes, PlayStation games that are on Steam and on Xbox if we want to go ahead and count things like MLB, as well as Helldivers 2, which people were quite salty for some stupid reason, but that's an actually thing. Let's continue.
Device was announced. Guess what? Nico comes out of the woodwork. Nico.
And I don't know who Nico is. So, like, I only follow some people. Like, I have a bunch of Xbox type influencers, and most of them are pretty fucking chill. And I have a lot of PlayStation guys I follow, and most of them are not retarded, and they don't make rage baity tweets or videos saying Xbox is doing so great or PlayStation's doing so great. Most of the time, if you hop on X, a vast majority of them, and I've said this many times, and it might just be my algorithm, is PlayStation guys far more outnumber the Xbox guys, and this is true even in console sales, and they tend to be more toxic and say more outlandish things. But anytime there's any type of good news towards Xbox, you're going to have clowns like this right under the comments saying something stupid. You know it's going to be a legendary take when they say something. So,
come out stating would pay up to 1K. Up to 1K. Seriously, I'm waiting for this now for so long. Cool guy emoji, thumbs up emoji, and the gif of I'm serious. Do we not see how that...
No, because it's totally different. It's totally different. It's not even in the same thing. You have a dedicated console but stuck to one walled garden. You can only play PlayStation games. You have access to PlayStation Now. The actual specs of the PlayStation Pro, which, by the way, I have one. I enjoy it, but I really don't have a huge, like... It's not mind-blowing. There are promises in the future with new improvements, especially with the AI stuff, but it's not really that big of a deal. I think that, ultimately when it came out, like, we seen that, like, holy fuck, it's a console, and the actual performance is kind of minimal for the most part. It was kind of stupid, but I think, it's grown on me. I don't think there's a problem if you spend $700, but I do think, it should have been a little bit cheaper, maybe $600 and $700 for a disk drive. combo. That's just me. I don't know, but this whole generation's been weird when you can buy a PlayStation Pro and an Xbox Series X. Which, by the way, if you're buying an Xbox Series X right now or a Series S at the current prices, please don't fucking do that. Buy a PlayStation Pro. Buy a PC. The whole handheld market, by the way, these are all expensive. All of them, the Legion Go, the Asus ROG Ally, the Steam Deck is not as bad, but these devices shoot just more than just being consoles. There's a lot you can do with these things, and you're basically getting a form factor gaming laptop in a console handheld form, which, by the way, those can be quite expensive, especially to make. So, yes, $1,000 is quite a lot of money. I expected it to be. I would say maybe $700 or $800 at the most for the premium version, which that's what I'm kind of hoping it would be, but I don't know. These devices are not aimed towards the common boys, the casuals. They're just not.
Now, that's not weighing out to be the same thing here. Do we see the hypocrisy here? Do you see why this community doesn't have a good rep? The Xbox...
Neither does the PlayStation community. They do not have a good rep. They don't. There's a lot of channels that make fun of you guys constantly. A lot of them. A lot of very successful channels that say, hey, here's the retards on PlayStation. Look how they are acting. When you have guys like Reforged Gaming out there saying all kinds of fucking retarded shit, like on the daily. And, you know, you're going to be like, oh, Cole Eastwood, he says stupid shit too. They all do. They all do. But when you hop online and you are talking about stuff, most of the time, the most toxic ones that are willing to fight to the death for their plastic box, they'll even go to the point where they're doxing people. By the way, it's not just a PlayStation community exclusive. This is happening on all ends, by the way. There's a bunch of retards on all ends, and it's sad. But there are some really good people in both the communities that do participate in console wars, and I always thought, man, you know, he's actually kind of fun to talk to. But let's continue.
The Xbox community.
See, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that chokes on my words. So there we go. It's not a Mr. Evil Ass exclusive to do that. Even though I stutter all the time because I'm truly mentally ill. But I take the medicine. Yeah, I'm mentally challenged. Please help.
Times fast wants to be taken seriously, but with these kind of takes and the talking heads, having receipts like these, how can you be taken seriously when you're consistently lying? And
the same thing could be said to you and anybody else on the talking heads on the other side. You're doing everything, and by the way, you don't even have to look very far. You hop on his X, he's blocked me. A lot of this shit, Xbox too many L's. See right here, Hypocrisy doesn't call out his own people, by the way. Once again, exclusives matter. Maybe it used to, if you're just selling the piece of hardware. But if you're a gamer that just wants to buy video games, it's not very good for them. Why should you have to spend, I don't know, $500, $600, $700 for separate consoles? That's just me. I'm nearly 40 years old and I don't really care, but like I said, I own all the systems, but it would be kind of nice if I didn't have to do that. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, you could literally scroll down. He's calling these people mental ill, and there's been cases. And by the way, if you're taking shit from Goat Gaming, like, why would you take anything Goat Gaming says? The dude is a tabloid, just like Reforge. And I've seen people. He's always reposting these retards at PlayStation, outlets, basically making fun of people asking for Spider-Man, which I don't know why it's a big deal, by the way. I don't understand the port begging thing. Like, again, it's kind of nice. It's like, hey, you know, this brand over here, these console guys over on this side really wants our games. I mean, you guys were doing the same thing when Xbox games came to PlayStation, even though you said Xbox has no games, but you're spending, what, 2 or 3 million copies of Forza coming over? You guys are buying them in droves. Right here, again, he's just making fun of these guys that are port begging, which, by the way, nobody's hurt by this, and he does say that it shows how hurt and frustrated they are about Xbox putting all their games on PlayStation. Why? How is somebody hurt by that? I don't understand that. You'll see some fanboy hop on and be like, hey, this guy is crying and molding and seething because a brand game. I don't understand that. It's fucking stupid. Why is this a deal? Why is this a big deal? Nobody's literally in the streets crying or jumping off buildings because Spider-Man or didn't come to PlayStation, or I mean Xbox. They said, dude, again, I could be retarded too. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's crying. You're just making shit up. Just making shit up. Let's keep on continuing. Phil Canceller, which, by the way, PlayStation also canceled things. Bend Studio just got announced to cancel some games, which that sucks. I hope Bend Studios did not go away. They're a fantastic studio. I hate seeing our current industry right now with all the actual layoffs. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. This is fucking crazy. This guy does the same shit. Like, this is retard stuff. This is retard stuff. This dude looks like he's 50. And he's posting shit like this. There was a video where he even said, hey, if your kids see this or your ancestors or whatever sees this down the line, they're going to be embarrassed of you because that's stupid. Let's continue. No, you dipshit, you got blocked. This is another thing he does. He blocks people. And this happens on both sides, by the way. There's retards on all sides. Let's see, let's read this. No, you dipshit, you blocked first. Keep crying. What's this one?
Looks like it was.
Hang on.
Yote looks like dog shit. Yes, it looks like it was born out of a PlayStation 3's asshole and glued together and then put on to a PlayStation 4 and then.
They don't make it easy. They make it really easy, actually. See, there's retards on all sides. It's not just PlayStation. I make fun of all of them because it's funny. It's really fucking funny. PlayStation's not going anywhere. Xbox isn't going anywhere. Nintendo's not going anywhere. But for somebody to call somebody else a shill while constantly, shilling and grifting for another brand that's not paying him, that's fucking stupid to me. That's just really dumb. Just stupid.
Having the hypocrisy follow you around. Not a great
Like it does you every single fucking day.
look. Not a great look. Nico, not a great look, buddy. Let's keep going to the next one, though. We have a series from Colt here, because obviously Colt...
Now, he's in love with Colt Eastwood. Like, he has a massive boner for Colt Eastwood. Like, he loves Colt Eastwood. He makes a point of it all the time to talk about Colt Eastwood and how he's a shill, how he's a grifter, how he gives out misinformation when he's doing the same exact shit. But he actually loves Colt Eastwood. Like, he probably has in his closet a life-size pillow of Colt Eastwood where he pulls it out every once in a while. He lays in his chair, puts his lipstick on, and just kisses and rubs his DualSense all over Colt Eastwood's pillow face. This is true. This is fact.
Colt is the king.
I wouldn't lie to you. I'm not a shill. I'm not a liar. Allegedly, by the way. I don't want to get sued.
Of hypocrisy, is the king of overhyping, is one of the kings of the talking heads for the Xbox community, a fraud, a shill, a grifter, a corporate...
See what I mean? When he calls somebody a fraud, a shill, a grifter, a corporate shill, and you take a look at his actual X account, where it's all this all fucking day long. Every single day. The only console sales that matter, Xbox. Console sales don't matter because I don't really give a fuck about the console sales because I'm not getting money from them. There's some people that build their whole brand around a certain platform, and I think that's very dangerous, by the way. I think that's really stupid if you do that, because once that platform is gone, you really don't have a career. But this guy is doing the same shit. Like, he is a fraud, he is a grifter, he is a corporate bootlicker, because his corporate bootlicker is blue.
bootleg,
And
or
not
you name
green.
it. But let's start with the first example here, guys. Now, he's just trying to be all kumbaya-like, right? He states, let people be excited about things. Xbox fans know what the Xbox Ally handheld is. No, they don't, because they think it's an actual official Xbox hand.
It's been stated, but it's not. It's not an Xbox official headset. Handset! Fuck! Handheld. My God. Fucking stupid. I just got off work. I've been migrating all these machines to Windows 11 for the last month. I've been on a lot of boats and all this shit all over the fucking area, for the most part. But most people knows what it is. They even come out and state what this thing is. It's a branded Asus ROG Ally that's also branded with Xbox. It has an Xbox button. It plays Xbox games. It has an Xbox operating system. It is, by very definition, a Xbox handheld. That's also a console. It's a console hybrid, just like the Switch 2. There's no fucking confusion in that. And if you're retarded and you go there and be like, I want the next Xbox console, this ain't it. This is a dedicated handheld for PC/Xbox. There's no confusion here. None at all. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. But let's continue.
Handheld console, dedicated. It's not. So delusion at its finest. As we continue, why does
It's not delusion. It's a weird thing, but like he's constantly crashing it out about this stuff. Like whenever it got announced, that OEM products were coming in, where Xbox was basically going to just transition to allow partners create the hardware, they're out of the console businesses. And whenever the first one comes in and it says I'm an Xbox hybrid console, PC console, was like, that's not an Xbox, guys. Even though everything is an Xbox, that's not one of them. That don't count. That just doesn't count. You could buy one right now. But you can't. You can't, because you don't know what this thing does. There's no confusion here. If somebody went out to buy it and you're like, hey, I want to play Xbox games on my Asus ROG Ally, which you could do right now, by the way, but this is going to have more to it. I don't understand why you're so fucking pissed off about this thing existing. I just can't wait until maybe one day, if this happens to the PlayStation side and they do a PC/PlayStation hybrid. I just want to know how that's going to look like. I just want to know. It's not going to happen. I don't really care if it does or not, but it's not going to happen.
bother some people? Answer below. It doesn't bother anybody. What it bothers is people dealing with delusions of grandeur, right? That's what it bothers, is those with common sense, because common sense seems to be such a rare trait nowadays, much like I was alluring to Game Pass not being profitable when you're including the first party.
Which, by the way, this has already been proven that it was profitable. Chris String had to come out and say, yes, it is profitable. The way Game Pass as a service is, how it works compared to its studios, it's totally different budgets, totally different things. They make money from their first-party games on other platforms, and it goes into Game Pass. So PlayStation buying 2 million or 3 million copies of Forza, or PC buying it, or whatever platform wants to buy it, guess what? It's paying for that first-party game. That's what's happening. As is explained. It is profitable, I guess. If it wasn't, it would have been dead a long time ago. You know how Xbox likes to shut things down. It hasn't been shut down yet. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. To me, like, I'm subscribed to PlayStation Plus Premium. I am Game Pass Ultimate. I am on Nintendo, not the Essential, but the Expansion Pass. I subscribe to these games, and I love them. And I use them as mainly demo services for the most part, as well if I wanted to play a game. So if I bought a Steam version of Doom Eternal, which I bought Doom Eternal, but Doom the Dark Ages on Steam, and I played it on Steam. But say if I wanted to play it on Xbox, but I don't want to buy it again. I don't want to buy the game again. So I'll just go hop on Xbox and be like, okay, I'm going to play on Xbox and play Doom the Dark Ages on my Xbox with my Game Pass. I don't want to constantly buy the game over and over and over. I'm tired of doing that shit. Now, see, I don't think there's a problem with that. I don't think there's a problem with that. And these guys, they act like they have the fucking numbers. They don't. I don't have the numbers. He doesn't have the numbers. The only people who has the numbers is the Microsoft accountants. That's the only people that know. That's just the way it is. So there's always this crash shout about Game Pass and how it's bad for the industry, which, if it is, then kill it. But it's, so far, it doesn't seem to be. It's got some problems, and I maybe it's jealousy. Maybe their PlayStation Premium sucks, and they want the Game Pass. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know why you're so fucking torn up against it over this thing. It's a fucking stupid thing to be upset about.
Games, right? We'll get to that in a future video, but again, it drives people that are what we would consider normalized thinking into a coop of sorts. This drives us nuts. This is what drives us nuts. People being delusional, and folks like yourself not helping the situation. But let's keep going here with Colt here, guys. This is what I'm talking about here. Again, we're talking about the Pro. We're bringing it up, right? Do we see the hypocrisy here? The PS5 Pro is a scam. It's $700, but giving 2024 performance at what would be $550. This ended up being debunked, obviously. If you haven't been following along, it does give you plenty of extra oomph and power from that.
But it doesn't. As a standpoint, you're not really seeing a huge difference. You're really not. It's not a big difference. I think that's the problem. I think that's what the problem with a lot of people had to do with. PlayStation does something crazy and they do something anti-consumer, people are going to say shit about it. Then 2 years later, whatever, I don't know, I think the Pro's been out for 2 years, Xbox does super anti-consumer shit. So when they take a look at this $900 handset, yeah, it's fucking stupid. For a casual person, most casual gamers, not me and you, who probably, not me and you, I guess we're hardcore gamers. I guess you can consider me an Xvault or whatever. Like, that's my thing. It's my main fucking hobby. When I seen the PlayStation Pro, when it came out, and I took a look at what was going on between both systems, the standard, which I bought day one, just like I bought the Xbox Series X day one and the Switch 2 day one, but I took a look at the performance between the PlayStation Digital and the Pro at the time, and I was going to spend $700 to do it, even with trade-in. And it wasn't until recently where I got the PlayStation Pro pretty much for, I think it was after I did all the trading and stuff by selling some of my retro shit, I got it for $125. There's no fucking way I was going to spend $700 for a PlayStation 5 Pro. I just wasn't going to. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. If I didn't have that deal, I probably wouldn't have done it to begin with. So the performance gap's really not there. But I mean, whatever. Words, I guess.
Could do much more with it in regards to frames, etc., ray tracing, all that stuff. So again,
but the thing is it doesn't really. A lot of stuff doesn't really take advantage of it, and right now, like there's a gap right now in terms of PlayStation exclusive games that are taking full advantage of this. Yes, there's some that do, but there's some that don't. I would love to see more and more. I'm hoping with the update with whatever the AI upscaler does, I hope it eventually increases. I think the PlayStation 5 Pro right now, compared to what it was 2 years ago, is definitely a good deal, especially if you're going to buy a new console. If you're going to buy a new console, and if you don't want to spend a lot of money, well, go ahead and buy a regular edition. But if you want to get a little bit better, just get a PlayStation 5 Pro, skip the Xbox Series X. Don't do that, just get a PC. If you get a Series X, pretty good price, maybe, I don't know, $500, $400, do that. Or get you the Asus ROG Ally, which is $800, $900 if you want the full experience. If you want to play PlayStation games, you want to play Steam games, you'll play Epic games, you'll play your GOG games, you'll play Xbox Game Pass, and you have the extra money, then I don't see how this is a bad idea. But for some odd reason, we're comparing apples to tacos.
Trying to spread the word that that's a scam. But remember, just let them be excited about things, guys. Leave them alone. So people can't be excited about a Pro is an option, not even something you have to do to join into that generation.
And again, this was 2 years ago, pretty much. I think it was 2024. When did it fucking come out? I don't know. Back then, it seemed kind of dumb to me. But what I see now, the PlayStation Pro, I think, is actually worth the money, I guess. But I think it should be cheaper, just like the Xbox, just like whatever coming out. I know we got this whole tariff bullshit, whatever. Consoles, I've never lived in a time where consoles go up in price during a generation. Yes, we had mid-gen refreshes, which kind of started with PlayStation 4 and the Xbox Scorpio, and we had like other refreshes, or they changed the design, made it smaller, but the performance gap wasn't really there to begin with. And to me, whenever I state that, when somebody says, well, it's there, it's like, if it was there, we wouldn't be releasing games on the PlayStation 4. That's just me. That's how I see it. If we're in a generation right now where we're still supporting the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 and the regular Nintendo Switch, what the fuck are we doing? What are we even upgrading our devices for? Why are we doing a mid-gen refresh when we're current hardware wasn't taking advantage of it? So you take a look at a PlayStation Pro, you're like, okay, that's a new console. I can play Space Marine 2 in higher fidelity on my TV. Looks nice, looks great, but on the Xbox branded handheld, you get more for more bang for your buck, especially if you're a PC gamer. If you're a PC gamer, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like me, like when I go on trips, I think it's great. Like I pop out my ROG, I'm like, okay, I can Steam library, GOG, whatever. I've got access to that. My PlayStation Portal, which I just got, which I really like, it has its problems. I wish there was a PlayStation that had dedicated hardware, not just a cloud, because I think cloud is just, it's fucking annoying, man. Fucking hate it. Hate pulling it out just to play on the cloud. I would like to have native shit. I don't care if it's 1440p 60 FPS. I don't care about that. Like, I really don't care. I just want to be able to play a game. And I know it's the thing. You'll be like, well, the PlayStation 5 Pro is more powerful than the Asus ROG Ally. Yes, but it's a different type of market that it's aiming for. It's you got to remember, not everybody cares about the greatest graphics ever. Every time that increases the budget of the game, that makes the games so much more expensive, and whenever it releases, there's a good chance it could flop. So whatever they spent during development, that's going to really fucking hurt, right? I don't really care about the graphics game anymore. This isn't like middle school. I don't care about that shit.
You can still get a PS5 base model and be just fine. But again, the kumbaya comes out when it's Xbox induced, right? Too many receipts, and we're not done because he continues to go on. PS5 Pro is a sham in reporting under, of course, his good buddy Gaz's thread there. It's a sham. It's a sham. It's a scam. But I just thought he was saying, let people enjoy things. But again,
it's really funny because comparing, a mindset, like a tweet from last year, or wherever the fuck that was made, to a current event that's happening now, as if minds does not change, or things that do not change, like, I don't know, the current our current state of I don't know, what is it? Oh my god, we're all poor. That's what I'm trying to say. Currently everything's up, everything's higher priced. It sucks. People change their minds. Yes, do I think it's a problem if somebody back in 2024, 23, or whenever PS5 Pro came out was to buy one? I think it's questionable, but if you bought one, I don't give a fuck what you do with your money. You go to work. You go to work for the money, or you live off the government, or sell weed to Professor X down the street that's got a retarded brother that snorts glue. Like, I don't care, but that's your money. You made that money. I don't care what you spend your money on, and I'm not going to tell you if you buy a PlayStation or Xbox. Welcome to gaming, man. Have fucking fun. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
the hypocrisy just speaks volumes right here, guys. And we're not done. He had to make another one. This is how you know they're super salty and we're super upset about the PS5 Pro, right? Again, I know it's older receipts, but I don't think these have been shown. We got to show the hypocrisy, guys. And as we see here, and if you're new to the channel, look at this. Look at this. If you're not familiar with the app of X, look at this. PS5 Pro is $700. Only 18 copies of Concord. I have no clue what he's trying to allure her to, what he's trying to make comparisons to here.
At the time, both were a scam. That's what he's saying. Concord was very, very expensive flop for PlayStation. Probably one of the biggest flops in gaming history, costing lots and lots of money, and probably changing course for PlayStation for the rest of however long PlayStation exists. Especially when we hear things like Fair Games, a Marathon, their whole push to games as a service not working out, aside for a couple titles. I think that's what he's alluding to. So back then, when you took a look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, you're like, oh shit, things are still being made for the PS4 and Xbox One. Why does this exist? Just to get a couple extra frames. But with the evolution of frame gen, especially with PSSR, I think they're moving to FSSR 3 or 4. I don't know. I think that's rumor. I don't know. I don't care. But I think right now, as it is, if you wanted to buy a PlayStation and you're worried about quality, you wanted the best experience on your big-ass TV, yes, buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. But yes, back then, you took a look at it, even if it was a year ago, things have changed. The economy has changed. Things have improved. We're actually getting games that are made specifically for one system. I'm playing Death Stranding 2 right now on my 80-inch, and upstairs on PS5 Pro. That's one of the main reasons I got the PS5 Pro. It looks great, looks fine, looks dandy. I wouldn't spend $700 for it, but if you get a good deal on it, fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Don't buy an Xbox right now. Just don't fucking do it. Tell Microsoft to suck a dick.
He's thinking that the Pro is so much of a scam, it's on the same level as Concord that failed. I don't know where he was going with this, but again, I thought we were just supposed to be able to enjoy things. Let fans enjoy their preferred place to play. Let fans just enjoy devices that they want to enjoy. Am I right? No, he's got to bring up Concord on top of that, because at the time, the salt was an all-time high with this individual. He could not stand it. It burned him up so much that Xbox wasn't getting some sort of a mid-gen refresh upgrade throughout it.
But it was stated at the beginning, though, that there wasn't going to be one. The Xbox Series X, for the most part, is quite a powerful machine. They already had two different models. PlayStation came out with two different models of the same type of hardware. Xbox Series consoles came out. They had one that was way weaker than the other, and you had the Series X, which holds up. It really does. It holds up. It was $500 when it came out, or whatever. I don't know what it was. I just bought it. The PlayStation 5 Pro came out. It came out a couple years later, which kind of makes me wonder, why didn't you do it at the beginning? Let's go ahead and just, instead of doing a mid-gen refresh, let's just create two different SKUs, one more powerful than the other. I think that's the big problem with this. That's what it was. Nobody was mad that the PlayStation 5 Pro existed. It's the fact that PlayStation 5 existed and came out at the time that it didn't make sense. Why do that? Especially with the current, whenever it came out, like its tech and PSSR was not that great, and some can still argue that PSSR is really not that great to begin with. So the performance bump really wasn't that great. It's just what it is. Mainly what it boiled down to with all the shit is console war fodder. So it doesn't really matter what machine. I think we're going to end it to that, by the way. I can't really watch him any much more. But it is what it is. If you like video games, who gives a fuck? If you are cheerleading for a certain company, then calling out some person for cheerleading for another company, you are the problem. You are a fucking hypocrite. That's you. That's exactly what you're doing. So whenever you say things like, hey, you're a shill or a bootlicker, and you're afraid to say anything about your fucking brand that you worship, or your content creators, or the people on X that are doing things like doxing or threatening people or whatever, putting them down because they like a service. I don't know if you heard about you guys. Have you heard Welfare Pass? When PlayStation has EBT Plus? Yeah, they both exist. You have EBT Plus on PlayStation and Welfare Pass on Xbox. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter what you play. It doesn't matter what you do. If you love video games and you're in it for the video games, that's the only fucking thing that matters. I don't want more fucking division in my fucking hobby. I don't want that. I don't want that. I've seen people saying that I shouldn't talk to Generic Eric, which Generic Eric's never done anything to me. I like the guy. We've been able to talk. I don't care. I'm a shit talker. He's a shit talker. Everybody's a shit talker. But some people take this shit way too serious. And they don't like to take a look at themselves in the mirror from time to time and see how silly they sound. And I know this video is not going to get any views. That's fine. I don't care. This is a hobby. I'm not, I'm not going to be 100,000 subscribers. And this is almost 50 minutes long about Xvault. And I had to stop it there because it's going to be in like 2 hours because I can't stop fucking talking. But yeah, here's the thing. Like, right now, the gaming industry is on fire. There's a lot of bad things happening. I don't want to see it happening. A lot of failures, a lot of stuff to be excited about. But there's a lot of stuff happening, especially right now on Xbox. PlayStation had their turn, and they're all going to take their turns. Nintendo's a shit company, PlayStation shit company, Xbox shit company. They're all shit companies. They only want one thing and one thing only, and it's that wallet. And the only way they're not going to, keep on doing this shit is if you keep supporting it. And I'm the problem, by the way. I hop right in, and I'll tell you, if I say something stupid, I will own up for it. It is what it is. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.
Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking cunt. Shut the fuck up. You're a stupid cunt. Suck my dick.